like this one, too.
Playoff basketball is heating up, and Carboni's Pizzeria wants to fuel your Game 2 watch party tonight. Stop by one of 30-plus locations, score delicious pizza, and get ready for the playoff grind. Order today at carbonispizza.com.
I need to address another text message. There are so many critics, detractors, naysayers, the negatives, as PA used to like to call. Maybe he still does. This text message came into the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line near the end of that last segment, and it reads as follows. Common, sounding a little bitter yet again today, with a smiley face. And I texted him back. So I will respond to the text line occasionally. I said, nah, just play into the character. Put upon, disrespected, underappreciated. There are people that think like I dislike the people on the Power Trip Morning Show, and that's not right. I hate the people on the Power Trip Morning Show. No, I like them. We have, and they love the bid. Matter of fact, when I was complaining about, when they were not, they were promoting the Power Trip beat at the golf opener, and I was just in little small agate type. I was told that Cove was brilliant with it. He was going, now is Common going to be there or not? I mean, I thought he was. So it's just a bit about, it is true that the only show the coroner's office cares about is the Power Trip Morning Show. But that doesn't bother me at all. It makes no never. But there would have been a time it would have, but I don't care anymore. I'm happy where I've been, where I'm going, where I'm at. But it's the woe is me character that I like to play. I'm very happy. I shot a 79 today. My game is rounding into form. And I've been invited to participate in the KPMG. The KPMG is the tournament. LPGA tournament is going to be at Hazeltine National Golf Club in June. It is a major. Okay. It is one of their 4 majors. I think they might even have 5 at the LPGA level. I think the Dumaurier is also considered a major, and they're having a media day, and I've been invited to play.
I was invited too.
Are you going to come then?
Can I?
Well, if you've been invited, I'm taking the day off. You'll have to take the day off.
Yeah.
Why don't we just take the day off?
We'll see how many days off I have.
Say it's work related because we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the. Yeah,
we are going to talk
about the course.
We're going to broadcast from there. We're broadcasting on the Friday of the second round of the LPGA Championship. You and I will be there. That's already a done deal. Oh, the LPGA is building us our own little booth and everything. They love us. They want the publicity. So we'll be playing there. So I've got to get my game rounded. And you know what? No carts. We're walking, but they're giving us caddies. It's big time, Tennessee. We're being treated as if we are somebody, which we're never treated like that here at the radio station.
I always feel bad though when the caddy's got a caddy for me. Like they do all this work to set up the yardage, tell you where to hit the ball, and then you just you hit a low liner 120 yards off to the right into a sand trap that they're now going to have to go rake. One
of my favorite caddy lines is the player who is the caddy's working for says, you have to be absolutely the worst caddy in the history of caddies. And the caddy says, that'd be too much of a coincidence. So anyway, I guess you and I will be out that day. That'll be June 8th. You and I will be out so we can get Blake Moore to run the board. And I don't know who
Fallness can break down the Wild's Stanley Cup finals at that point.
Exactly. Time now for 5, 3, 4.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Brought to you by Willow River Company. Question number 1.
It's now time to take an in-depth look at the welfare of the wolves.
And Spurs go at it again deep in the heart of Texas for Game 2 tonight with the Wolves leading that series 1-0. Good news today. We find out that Ayo Dosunmu will be available for tonight's game. Anthony Edwards secondly listed as questionable. Opening tap after 8:30 p.m. You can hear that game right here on the Fan. Common, what is your Game 2 prediction?
I like I had another text come in that said, you'll criticize the Wolves and be all over for them when they don't play defense on a Tuesday night in January. Yet in the playoffs, the Wild don't play particularly well defensively, and you have nothing to say. And my response to that would be, it's because the Wild are trying to play defense.
It's an effort.
It's an effort thing. It's with the Wolves. I have to repeat the quotes over and over again. Where Ant said, Gobert called the team out earlier and said, we don't want to play defense. We need people that want to play defense, and the coach should bench players that don't want to play defense. The team has admitted we don't care about the regular season, and they don't treat the regular season. So when they aren't playing defense in the regular season, they need to be criticized. The Wild are trying, or at least they appear to be. Until I hear a Wild player say, we don't really try very hard during the regular season because we don't care, then they'll get criticized. And they didn't play defense very well. We talked about it. And they're missing a couple of their top defensive players. And Colorado's really, really good. I am genuinely impressed and surprised. Because I've said forever, I just think it's hard to turn it on and off like a switch. If you don't play defense during the regular season, come postseason, it's difficult to do. But I should have used my own logic because, as I've said many times, if you've been playing ever since third grade in-house basketball, Howard Pulley, Pop Warner, high school, AAU, college, you're really good at basketball. And it's not like you forget how to play defense or forget how to play basketball. It seems like the Wild were just telling the truth. They were genuinely bored with the regular season, which still is an excuse. It's the example I've used. If you go to a Broadway play and there's an understudy that's doing the job, you still expect you expect them to do a good job. You expect the main players to do a good job as well. But I'm truly impressed by the way they have played, not only against Denver, but that first game against San Antonio. They tried to give it away late with a lazy inbounds pass by Ant. But I feel like San Antonio is good enough that they should be able to rebound and even the series. So if I was a betting man, I'd probably take San Antonio. But there's something about the Wolves club where they seem to be it seems like winning. They are serious about postseason play, and they were annoyed and bothered by getting dumped in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. So I'll take the Wolves, but I won't be surprised if the Spurs win. But I think the Wolves, especially if they do again to what Wembanyama did. A couple of people pointed out, I'm not paying as close attention to the NBA as I once did, generally and specifically the San Antonio Spurs. That was only, the second or third time that Wembanyama played over 40 minutes. They just came right at him and tried to wear him down, and I think maybe they did. If that strategy works, again, more power to them. But I'll take the Wolves tonight. You? What do you think?
I think the Wolves win the series. I think San Antonio, desperation game 2 at home, that they'll win tonight.
Okay, very good.
Question number 2.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Crack out a home run, shout a hit, hooray! Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
You know what I learned online? If your avocado starts to get a little soft, that's getting close to where they're too ripe, and then they'll start to rot. If it starts getting soft, put it in the refrigerator. Last night I didn't know that, and now I got a beautiful avocado here. I'm sorry.
Twins beat the Nationals 11-3 last night in the nation's capital. Byron Buxton hit a 3-run homer. Brooks Lee was 3 for 5 with 2 doubles and 3 RBI. Trevor Larnach added 2 hits and 2 RBI. And Taj Bradley gave up just 2 runs on 4 hits over 6 innings, striking out 8 and walking 2. Common, what sticks out to you from last night's Twins win?
My question would be, what sticks out to Tom Pohlad about last night's win? Tommy Pohlad was beside himself when the odds makers said they wouldn't win. The over-under was about 72, 73 games. It's crazy. We talked about this yesterday. They're like 13-17 over their last, 3-7. Whatever their record was, it was just abysmal, and they were still only 2.5 games out of first place because the division is lousy.
Really a game and a half back right now, even though we're in last place.
Yeah, and we still have a losing record. Are we 17-20 now?
16-20.
16-20. So what sticks out is Buxton. It's, more for him personally than the organization of the fans. I'm happy for him because he has had an injury-riddled career, and that's no secret, and that's unfortunate. He has twice played 140 games, I think. Otherwise, he's 98 games, 68 games, 102. He just, because he spent so much time on the IL. Last year, he was healthy for most of the season and had a really good year. And that was, I think, I thought I saw him, and again, I should admit this, working at the All Sports Station, I kind of just skimmed the Twins story today. Is this like his fourth homer in his last 6 games or 6 in his last 8?
Well, he's had like 11 in like his last 19.
Yeah, he's really playing well, and it's fun to see. I talked about this earlier about the what did you say Keyshaw was? Not Keyshaw, but
Brooks Lee.
Brooks Lee. That was another guy. When he first came up, was that last summer or the summer before? And he got off to a real nice start. And I thought, this kid looks like he's going to be able to play. Maybe they finally have a prospect that can play. And then he sort of kind of didn't play as well and started looking like another one of those hyped prospects that was going to not pan out. And certainly I'm not trying to say that, well, here he is, he's made it now, but he's playing better. And the Taj guy can pitch a little bit. That was a nice, we did, even though we unloaded our bullpen last year in the fire sale, it does seem like we did get some fairly decent pitching prospects in return. So that's a nice win. And, after the Wild get eliminated in 4, you know what, we're going to come back and we're going to win 4 in a row. And after the Wolves, after we have the dual parade, it gives us something to look forward to the rest of the summer, even if it's a bad division in a bad league. So I like it. I just like the way they now the Nationals aren't very good either. I think they had identical
same
records.
record.
Yeah, same records going into the game. So, but it's nice to see. I don't mind at all.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 questions. Well, actually 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus box with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword family at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is family. Enter now at KFAN.com.
And 534 was brought to you by the Willow River Company and the Willow River Experience monthly subscription, where you can bundle 5 core services, 3 seasonal upgrades, and 4 custom add-ons into one simple plan. A little 534. Visit WillowRiverCompany.com today to build your 534 experience. Rock Talk with Brian Oak next on The Fan.
You already listened. Now watch The Fan. Check out the KFN YouTube channel for exclusive videos, in-depth takes, initials, and password games, and behind-the-scenes content. Search KFN on YouTube and hit subscribe today.
Couple 13-14 pastime comedies tend to be excited and delighted to be joined by Brian Oak. Brian,
I'm here.
yeah, why are you crawling on the floor? Did you lose a contact? We're looking for a headset.
I've done radio for over 30 years,
Yep.
and I've dealt with a lot of headphone issues in my life. I've never before seen a headphone tangle quite as...
there's nothing worse, is there?
Well, but it's wrapped around the chair in a way that I can't... I don't know what's happening here right now, and I'm just going to have to live with it. Here we go. Hi, Common, how are you?
You can go ahead and deal with it.
I think it's mostly dealt with now.
All right.
I finally got there, yeah. Sorry about that.
You're a silver medalist.
I am. A lot of people didn't see
doubted
young
you.
Brian Oak as, an Olympic biathlete, but that's why I don't have one of those. But I do have a silver medal for my podcast, The Brian Oak Show, now 572 episodes deep. In fact, just came from recording one to coming here, and I'm going to go right back and do another one this afternoon. We do 2 a week. We've been doing it for 6.5 years. Lots of episodes, award-winning, very, very local music focused. And it's a really, really good time, and things are going swimmingly. Best listenership we've ever had, award-winning. It's going in the right direction.
Oh, the difficulties of the rich and the famous. I read a headline in Billboard today that says, Keisha I thought she did the cash sign.
Kesha, yeah.
Or is it Kesha?
It is Kesha.
Well, she doesn't have the cash sign anymore. Why did she take that out?
Because, when she was young, she was more of a glitzy, glammy, in-your-face rock star type. And, as we all do when we get older, we become a little more reasonable, a little more, think Johnny Cougar becoming John Mellencamp, right? I mean, this kind. So that's my only guess. I don't know if she's officially done away with it, but the last couple times I've seen her name, no dollar sign.
The record company, that's what Mellencamp talks about that. They said, no, you can't be John Mellencamp. You have to be Johnny Cougar. Yeah.
Let's be honest. Johnny Cougar's a pretty great rock and roll name, right?
It worked.
And, but then eventually he's like, look, I don't have the giant pompadours anymore. I'm just John Mellencamp. And he was able to make the transition. But, a lot of people, once you get a name like that, if you don't get big enough, you're saddled with it. And that's where you have to go. Case in point, Toad the Wet Sprocket and Bare Naked Ladies. The Goo Goo Dolls, really? You didn't come up with actually, compared to what they called themselves first, Goo Goo Dolls is a 100%.
Why? What did they call them? Can you even say it?
I guess, but it's just...
let's not then.
Let's not. Just people can look it up if they're really dying to know what Goo Goo Dolls were called before they were called Goo Goo Dolls.
Were you going to say something, Tom?
I was going to say, I know Darius Rucker regrets the fact that they were called Hootie and the Blowfish because everyone thinks that he was just Hootie.
Yeah, his name was
He's
Hootie.
like, no.
Hootie Hoo? Yep.
Hootie
No.
Hoo.
And they did.
Well,
but again, you get popular enough, and at that point, from a marketing standpoint or a record sales standpoint, or fans even knowing who you are, or potentially new fans, changing your name is usually suicide.
Speaking of that, I think what we ought to do is, for a rock rank sometime,
Go on.
rank the top 5 or 10 band names of all.
I've actually had that on my list.
Oh, did you?
I have a list of 12 in the can.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I liked it. Because I do.
A good band name?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. There's
Metallica.
Megadeth.
Oh, well, then if you want to go
Five-Finger
down...
Death Punch.
Five-Finger Death Punch.
If you want to go
so
down the
good.
metal vein, what about, Hinder, but it looks like Hinder. Saliva? You called your band Saliva
Oh,
and
come on,
had
they do
radio.
not.
Oh, 100%.
Saliva.
They were a new metal band and had like a couple of big hits.
I
Yeah.
like Saliva.
Or even Weezer. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I thought if I were to have a band, it would be called Vomiting Rats.
Wow. Well,
good?
you've got there's going to be an audience out there for you for sure.
Kesha reveals her ex dumped her after she didn't bring him along to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour after party.
Yeah.
So that was the relationship was good.
Right.
Happily ever after.
Getting to know each other,
Right.
learning about each other, getting to trust a little more, having a good time with each other.
But she told her boyfriend, I'm going to the after party. You're not. He said, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
This came after she dated him for a year and a half. That's what came between them.
So
Usually it's finances. They just don't get along anymore. Maybe there was an affair.
Yeah.
This is, she didn't take me to the after party for the Eras Tour. I'm out. I'm done.
Well, this sounds like, and again, I'm pure speculation. Who knows? But this seems like the kind of thing that's the straw that broke the camel's back, as opposed to being
Correct.
the only.
Well,
obviously,
you're probably right.
there were. Let's just say there were cracks in the foundation before this came along, and maybe it was a convenient excuse. Maybe she's trying to simplify a much more complex situation. But the fact that it came to, I mean, look. I've been with someone for a year and a half. She is my girlfriend, my one and only, my boo. And then she says she's not going to take me to the biggest after party on planet Earth after the big thing. I mean, I'm mad, and she's going to, there's going to be some emotional back pay and blackmail afterwards. But I don't know, man. If that's what caused you to break up, it sounds like things probably weren't ideal beforehand.
And then one other, this is from something called music-news.com. Have you ever seen it before?
I have.
Here's what it says.
I don't love their layout, but they have good content.
Well, here's what their content is today. The Mavericks revealed 2 new singers for first tour since, I think it's wants to say since, and because it stops and it goes ...
Right.
I write in my text messages.
Yes, you do.
Billie Eilish has no desire to get plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And Sam Smith and Christian Cowan engaged. Were they recommending she should get plastic surgery?
No.
Or
So I'm really glad you brought this up, because I want to talk a little bit about this.
plastic surgery?
No, about Billie Eilish in particular, because she's got a brand new movie directed by James Cameron coming out this
she was a
Friday.
singer.
She is a singer. This is a live concert film. We've all seen concert films before, and they're okay, but let's be honest, we'd all rather be at the show, right? You'd want to be a part of it. And Billie Eilish, sure, last year was a dominating dominated by a sold-out stadium-filling tour called the Hit Me Hard and Hit Me Soft Tour, or Hit Me Hard and Soft Tour, one of the two. And James Cameron and she decided to collaborate and at one of these shows do a full-blown, deeply immersive, interactive 3D live concert experience. So it's shot in 3D. I got to go to a preview on Monday night for this, and it was exceptional. It was unlike I've seen a lot of concert movies. It was unlike any concert movie I've ever seen. And if it weren't for the amazing live performance of Pink Floyd live at Pompeii, it might be my favorite concert movie I've ever seen. I'm only sort of a medium Billie Eilish fan. Always really liked her, loved her. And one of the things I love about her is I think that she's probably one of the greatest role models that young women have had in a very, very long time. Certainly among the very greatest. And she talks a little bit in the movie. There's very few interview segments. It's mostly the performance, but she does talk about how throughout her career, the media's thing on her is why does she always dress like she only wears giant sports jerseys and basketball shorts and backwards ball caps or forward ball caps. And she has always been sort of a proponent of trying to find another way for a woman to be a woman without the ultra feminine, sometimes real sexy, vampy, sexualized front star, because in the world of pop music, that's what it is. And she just said, I absolutely refuse to play by that rule. And she also talked about her look in that growing up, her very favorite music was hip hop. The greatest live shows she ever saw were hip hop. She wanted to look like those guys and women. She wanted to be able to command a crowd by herself of that size. And she's really living her dream. And even if you're not a giant Billie Eilish fan, the way that they incorporate the cameras onto the stage throughout the crowd, and it's generally a 3D movie. You have to wear the glasses to watch the movie. It's one of the most immersive and interesting and intimate concert movies, even though it's in a 20,000 plus person stadium, that I've ever seen. It comes out on Friday. It is the Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour, live in 3D, directed by James Cameron. Of course, he has to get himself into one or two interview segments because he's James Cameron. But it overall, one of the most satisfying things I see, but her commitment to being herself, to being the person she wants to be. So I'm not even a little surprised that she's like, absolutely no cosmetic surgery. In fact, I think in that interview, she goes on to say she can't wait to see her face get old. It's all part of the journey. This is part of who we are as human beings.
Wait till she gets there. And
well,
she says
I agree, but
Didn't she win all four of the awards, like Best New Artist?
The Big Four.
The Big Four.
At the Grammys.
What annoyed me, we talked about this one day. What annoyed me, though, and left kind of a sour taste in my mouth.
Sure.
She was only the second person to ever do it.
Yeah.
The first was Christopher Cross. Christopher Cross sent her a note saying, welcome to the club. She didn't respond.
Oh.
She did not respond. And he said...
That seems unusual.
I'd kind of like just a little, I mean, again, I don't think he was, he's probably, he's fine with who he is and where he's been, where he's going. But
maybe she sent it to the 90s hip-hop group Crisscross.
Maybe she did.
Sent it to the wrong person.
She could have done that.
And she's like, my favorite, the Mac Daddy will get you. Yeah.
Daddy Mac Daddy. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you know what happens sometimes when you become a star?
Yeah, but see, she doesn't strike... She everything,
doesn't, but that's what happened.
Well, I know,
Just
but I mean,
telling you.
circumstantial evidence, I refuse to throw out the baby with the bathwater on that one. I refuse to believe that she's that myopic and that much of a diva that, again, it's one instance, and we don't know. We don't know the scenario. We don't know the scene.
When you get the Big Four, and you're thinking I'm the only person, you find out somebody, who's this Christopher Cross character?
Oh, come on. I promise you Billie Eilish knows that.
I bet she didn't at the time.
Christopher Cross?
She probably had no idea who
I'll bet she did.
Well, then she should have reached out to him. Why are you defending?
I don't know.
You're all defending her.
I don't know, Billy.
I bet she didn't.
She dissed.
She didn't know who Christopher Cross was.
It's not a diss. It just didn't happen.
I didn't know who he was, and she's way younger than me.
Okay, well, and maybe she didn't know. I just, to me, it's not that big a deal.
It's a big deal to me.
Oh, well, clearly.
And she ought to ride like the wind right out of town.
Sailing her butt right over to the desk and giving out her personal stationery and writing a thank you letter to one Chris Cross.
And she could go watch Arthur's theme or what? No, Arthur's theme for the movie Arthur, whatever it was. We'll break. We'll come back.
When you get lost between the moon and New York City.
Yes, exactly. Great song. Tennessee, you have a Wild Today, I think.
Yes, this is Wild Today. It's brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Gus Bus was in for Wall of St. Paul last night in Game 2, but did not get off to a great start.
McKinnon starts in a drop pass through the front. Nates is a backhander, and he scores. Martin Necas snuck it inside the left arm of Gustafson. The first shot, the first goal, and 2:51 in. Necas has the opening goal for Colorado, and it's his first of the playoffs.
Yeah, Gustafson gave up 4 goals, made just 18 saves as the Wild lose 5-2 in Denver last night to the Avalanche. They trailed the series 2-0. Here's what John Hines, the head coach, said about the goaltending.
I thought Gus gave us a chance to win. It was, the difference in the game was, the special teams. That's what it basically comes down to.
Wild now get 3 days off. Game 3 is Saturday night at Grand Casino Arena. That was Wild Today, brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Buy tickets to Guys and Dolls at chanhassendt.com. KFAN welcome some great shows to Mystic Lake Amphitheater. The Guess Who will be there June 25th. 311 and Dirty Heads on July 11th, and John Mellencamp will be there July 14th. Get the complete details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 past on Common. He's 10 to B. Brian Oake here. It's Rock Talk. I just dug this up. Based on available reports up to May 2026, that would be today, there is no public record of Billie Eilish directly commenting on Christopher Cross's remarks about her not responding to a congratulatory message. So she didn't. She just, who? Christopher Cross?
No. Now, the only factual thing you said was that she did not reply to him. Why she didn't reply to him, why it hasn't come to pass, maybe it was done quietly and silently. Since the first report that she hadn't, we don't know what the motivation is. We don't know the details. We can't pretend to be inside her head. Well, but that's all it is a guess. We don't know that she was dismissive of who.
You know how these kids are nowadays. Anything that's happened before them. When I bring up historic things to people that I work with, they'll just say, well, that happened. So,
right.
Like if you say, Otto Graham was the best quarterback of all time, they'll go, who Otto Graham? When did he play? Played in the fifth. Cove.
I understand.
TV shows,
I understand what you're saying.
That aren't currently, I asked him, I said, have you ever watched All in the Family? No. It's really good. He just kind of looks away like, it's terrible. If it was made in the 70s, it has to be terrible. That's the way some people approach it.
I do understand what you're saying, and it's certainly possible that she was dismissive and didn't give a rip or just didn't know who it was. But given all the interviews I've seen, everything I've heard about her, I doubt very much that it was punitive or that dismissive, but it certainly may have been, but there's no way we can know. And I like her and who she is enough that I'm choosing, like you're choosing to believe she was just automatically dismissive. I'm choosing to believe that she was busy that day. She's in a parking
lot right now because she was in the studio. She had slashed the tires on her car.
Wow, you obviously are caring a lot about this. I understand.
You said that you had the Rolling Stones coming out with an album.
It just got announced yesterday. Surprising no one.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Well, it certainly could be. I mean, they've been at this for a minute, right? And I just need to find my story here. They announced yesterday that they've got a brand new album on the way called. What's it going to be called? Foreign Tongues. It will be coming out. It's their 25th studio album, by the way. And that doesn't include the ridiculous number of best ofs and compilations and live records and all that. Their 25th studio effort, being a band for more than 60 years. So that'll be coming out in, I believe, June. I'm trying to look for the exact date.
Can I wet blanket it some more?
Yeah. But do you want to hear the fun facts or do you want to wet blanket it first?
Well, go ahead and do the fun facts and I'll wet blanket the whole effort.
All right. July 10th is when it's going to be out. 14 tracks. Obviously, the core members, Mick Jagger's going to be there. Keith Richards, Ronnie Wood are all going to be there once again. But as we know, we did lose Charlie Watt, the drummer. But there are going to be some very special guest appearances on this new Rolling Stones record. One, Sir Paul McCartney is going to be appearing on a Rolling Stones record. Steve Winwood's going to be on there, as well as the frontman for The Cure, one Robert Smith is going to be on there. And Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers will be showing up to fill in on the drumming on some of the tracks on there as well. And they do actually have one of the very last studio recordings that Charlie Watt ever did that they're incorporating as the drums into one of the tracks that ended up on this album. So still including their longtime, lifetime bandmate in what is going to be their 25th studio album coming out in early July.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the album will be any good? I mean, the musicianship and the singing might be fine, but like some bands, they've got one album in them. Some just have one song on one album.
Right.
Others have many, and the Stones did. But when you haven't put anything out in a long time, and the genre of classic rock, which is what they would be in, is kind of dying, except for dinosaurs like you and I that will still enjoy that. And there are young people that like that music. Deuce, my boy, loves the Doors. He loves Hendrix. Many of those bands he likes. But I almost expect to be let down a little bit. Like, because, you know, they had so many great albums, so many great individual songs.
Like genuine, like iconic, legendary albums and songs, right?
And then you're going to hear it and you're going to go,
Well, I mean, that's been the case for me personally, the Stones pretty much through the 21st century. I mean, their last record came out 2 years ago. I'll bet you can't tell me the name or the name of a single song that appeared on it. It was called Hackney Diamonds, and I can't tell you a name of a song off of it because I'm well past the point of caring. That being said, they're obviously lifers. They obviously love doing what they do. One of the big things for them was that this one was back in London. They were in London and they banged the whole thing out in just a month, which for them apparently is a rather frenetic breakneck pace. For a bunch of guys in their 80s that still love it, they're just going to keep doing it until they die. They've made that very, very clear. And fans will keep going to shows, and fans will still celebrate the older material more than the new material. But for the diehards out there, I mean, there've got to be artists in your life, I know there are in mine, that even though you know their best work is likely behind them, you're still a diehard. You're dedicated. You are an acolyte, an ultra fan, and you will get and follow and at least give a listen to everything that they do. Even like, I mean, I've got bands like that aren't nearly as old as that. Queens of the Stone Age, their older stuff still is in much heavier rotation in my personal playlist than the newer stuff, but I'm still always going to buy anything that they put out because I love the band that much. So I don't begrudge them doing it, but no, I wouldn't expect it to be, you're not going to get a Let's Spend the Night Together or Paint It Black or, you know, When the Whip Comes Down. Those days are
or
way...
Ruby Tuesday.
Fine. Another excellent example. Those days are very far in the rearview mirror, and there are a lot of people that love the 70s and 80s Stones just as much as the 60s Stones. But since that time, I mean, there hasn't been anything that really is that remarkable.
Billie Eilish doesn't have to like or know who Christopher Cross is, but she should certainly respect him.
I couldn't agree more.
And I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more.
Now, yesterday, Greg Swedberg, who you were very familiar with, he used to be the senior vice president of programming here at iHeart. Been here forever and ever longer than I have. Now he's the Red Adair of country radio for iHeart. If there's a station that they don't think is maybe performing quite how they like it, they send him in, put out the fire to prop it back up.
He's the guy that, I mean, I did 30 years of radio and corporate radio that whole time. And so most of it. And so there were certain people that would come in from out of town for all staff meetings, or your station or your morning show where you get called into a meeting with this guy, this player, this proven gunslinger who knew what he was doing and was the fixer. And there was always sort of a mixture of respect and fear when those people came into town, and I feel like Swedberg's the guy to fill those boots.
So he forever he programmed, his baby was K102 country station.
Well, and it's how he's made his fame nationwide in the industry.
I'm
sorry.
Yeah, he was I just don't know now that he's gone, I don't know if we're doing today's country, yesterday's country, or tomorrow's country. I get confused now.
Right.
But he was recently inducted into the Country Radio Hall of Fame, so he's very highly regarded. Mm-hmm. He came out of his office, said, "Common, I think I found a country album you're going to like." And I go, "Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys?"
Right.
He goes, "No." Johnny Cash? No. He said something much more recent. He pulled me in, and you're familiar with Keith Urban, right?
I am. Oh, yeah.
Keith Urban is as successful a country artist there has been over the past 25 years, right? And this isn't really a country album, but he played bits of it for me. He's done an album of covers. Steal Away by Robbie Dupree.
Okay.
Baby Come Back by Player. Magnet and Steel from Walter Egan. Just the Two of Us. Grover Washington Jr. On and On by Stephen Bishop. Help Is On Its Way, the Little River Band. How Much I Feel by Ambrosia. Summer Breeze by
Seals and Crofts.
Croft. And I Just Want to Stop. I Just Want to Stop. Who did that one? I can't remember now.
It's right there, but
anyway, so he played a bit of each song for me, and it was really good.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm usually cover bands. Matter of fact, a lot of the bands you go, like if you go see Leonard Skinner, now you're not seeing Leonard Skinner, you are seeing a cover band.
Correct.
That's just the fact.
I agree. Yep.
So, but it was really good, and he's, I've never listened to Keith Urban other than if I've been passing in the hallways and it's playing on the overhead. But I kind of like the idea that he got away from. He said, I've mastered the art of country music, writing and singing and performing. I'm going to try to cover some yacht rock stuff. And it was really good. I mean, I just listened to when they would get to the chorus.
Did it have a little twang to it? Could you tell it was country flavored?
He didn't say mate.
Right.
And I didn't hear I didn't hear him trying to do that little country inflection that you got to do if you're a country artist.
Uh-huh.
And so I kind of liked it. I thought it was interesting.
I think a lot of artists, I look forward to hearing it. First of all, I love the song selection. That sort of AOR 70s thing that he's going for there.
Yeah.
That's because he didn't try to do something like William Shatner's got a heavy metal record coming out this summer. Dumb. But he didn't not only did he not try to do something hip and contemporary with the kids, but he went back to his roots and obviously music that informed him as a listener and a fan growing up. And he decided to pay tribute. I think I love the song selection. I'm not familiar with his work. I know him more as a personality and a celebrity than I do as an actual musician. But a lot of artists throughout their careers, either as a stopgap measure between major studio albums or as a later career sort of retrospective of here's who got me where I am today, do these cover albums. And a lot of times they're kind of great. David Bowie is probably one of my favorite covers album, Pinups, when after Ziggy Stardust was so freakishly popular, he needed a little breathing room before he came out with a new record. So he put together this collection of unbelievably cool covers with his own spin on it. And so, I haven't heard the record, but apparently you're giving it
I like it a lot.
the thumbs up.
Yeah. Time now for...
Oh, yeah. Rock Rank. Rock Rank. Rock Rank. Rock Rank.
Little rock rank. What you got this week, Tennant?
Yeah,
I love your selections, your ideas.
2 weeks ago, we did top 5 songs that had basically cars, that were about cars, or the title. We're now just going to cover all of transportation except for cars. So your top 5 transportation, non-cars related songs.
So I was looking and I was doing a little digging and thinking about this because putting together themed playlists is one of my very, very favorite things. What's one of my love languages, actually. And there's everything from hang gliders to hang gliders to roller skates to airplane. I mean, just everything out there. There are so many. To walking,
you mentioned roller skates.
Itself.
Are you headed toward a roller skating song?
Well, I've got 2 of them that didn't make my top 5.
Oh.
They're in the honorable mentions, but one of them is Melanie's Brand New Key, which I know you remember. And again, not really about roller skates, but that's the metaphor they're using right there.
Correct. And Melanie is, she was she was one of the first one-named artists, right? Because, now it's really popular. You're Pink. You're Madonna.
Right.
You're Adele. Back then, you had your full name, generally speaking.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Yes, exactly. And now it was Melanie. And her best song though was "Lay Down," which that's a rocker. That wasn't her most successful, popular. I think "Brand New Key" was. But
right.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of records. I work at a record store, and she's got a lot. By the way, working at that record store, there's a 20-year-old who works there. And the other day, the first Engelbert Humperdinck record came by, and he giggled for the next 4 hours because he couldn't believe that not only was there someone named that, but they were a popular star. And I'm like, why is it so funny? He's like, it's just a funny name.
It is a funny name. My guess is the same thing as they did at Mellencamp. You can't be John Mellencamp. You have to be John Cooper. You can't be Joe Smith. You need to be Engelbert Humperdinck. Okay?
It is a goofy name.
If that's what's going to get you to let me sign a recording contract,
right.
I'm in. So you didn't have Brand New Key in your top 5,
I don't.
but you have it as an honorable mention?
Well, it is an honorable mention, but coming in at number 5 is not a vehicle, but it is a means of circumlocution, and that would be the legendary Patsy Cline, Walking After Midnight.
Oh, right.
I mean, it's a timeless song. There's a reason Patsy Cline is regarded as the legend she is. Her voice is perfect in it. It's a simple, stripped-down song. And that's the great thing about, for me, Patsy Cline, is every time she sings, she is able to evoke you and pull you so strongly into her story. And Walking After Midnight is it's a great one about getting around and thinking stuff. And Patsy Cline, number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4, another one that's going to be right in your wheelhouse, the Steve Miller Band with Jet Airliner.
Ooh, that is a good song.
Because it kicks up, it just kicks off beautifully, and it rolls the whole time, and it talks about, you got to travel, especially when you're a big-time rock star like Steve Miller, but don't take me too far away.
Yeah.
Because it's here that I've got to stay, but he's back on the big old Jet Airliner, so that's number 4.
Number 3.
Number 3, we'll stay with planes on this one, and we'll make the focus a little more local. Legendary Minnesota band, The Replacements, have a song about how certain people in certain roles put on airs, and he talks about how flight attendants, a stewardess, is really just a waitress in the sky. And there's a line in the song that says, "Don't treat me special, don't kiss my... just treat me like the way they treat them up in first class." It's a song called Waitress in the Sky. Absolutely brilliant. 80s, legendary 80s song from one of the great Minnesota bands of all time, The Replacements, at number 3.
Number 2.
Number 2. This time we're going back to the 70s, and we are going across the pond to Europe. A German band who, to some people today, would listen to them and think, wow, this is dull. This is boring. This sounds like something I could have written in 2 minutes. But you couldn't, and you didn't. And they have gone on to be recognized. History has proven them to be one of the most foundational bands in all of electronic music. The band is Kraftwerk, and arguably their most Kraftwerk. Take a look at them sometime. Kraftwerk is actually as responsible for the beat-oriented system in American hip-hop. One day, Tenna, I'm going to come in on the Tenna Fitzgerald, and we're going to have a long conversation about the earliest days of hip-hop being fomented in Chicago and in Detroit and then in Brooklyn. And Kraftwerk were these minimalist techno dudes, almost prog rock, krautrock is what it came to be known as. But they have a song called Tour de France. So we're talking about bicycles here. That is, you don't think you know it, but I promise you've heard the theme to it before. It's just... it's Tour de France. Kraftwerk is the name of it.
Now, I'm going to do my quick... These are just off the top of my head.
Go for it.
And I bet some of these are in your...
Do we want number 1 from Oak first?
I'm sorry. I thought that was number 1.
No, number 2 is Kraftwerk.
I'm sorry.
And number 1 is a very different form
number 1
of transportation that only a few dozen humans have ever taken, and that would be heading up on a rocket ship and getting out into space. Number 1 all-time favorite alternative non-automobile transportation song for me is Space Oddity by David Bowie. It was his first big giant cross. What do you mean, of course?
Ground control to Major Tom.
Exactly.
It's a brilliant piece of work.
It's time to leave the capsule if you dare. So he's up there in the module, in the space capsule, and we never really know what happens to Major Tom, but it's a compelling story, and it's a great one, and that's my number 1.
Dead.
Exactly.
Well, here's what I'll tell you.
Can you hear me, Major Tom?
I'll take another spaceship song and put it over that. That would be Rocket Man by Elton John.
Also a fine selection.
Is one of the best ever. Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
I got it on the honorable mentions.
Ride, Captain Ride.
Yeah.
By Blues Image.
Another one I thought of when I thought of you was Sky Pilot.
The Sky Pilot's very good.
Also a very good one.
Love Train.
Yes.
By the OJs.
Absolutely.
Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight and the Pips. And maybe my favorite, by the Hollies and Graham Nash, Bus Stop.
I've got it right here on my list.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. It's right here. The Hollies right above Jerry and the Pacemakers' Ferry Cross the Mersey. Because how many people sing about ferries, right?
Well, that there's the Taste Ferry.
That's a different kind of ferry. Yeah. Although you can fly, so that's a non-automobile form of transportation with your sparkly wings.
What about Yellow Submarine?
It's right here. I've got
it's not in your top 5.
No, it's not. I've got, and
I'm a Beatles fan, but
it's a corny kids thing. But again, that animation is one of my greatest favorite movies of all time.
Which one do you dislike more, Yellow Submarine or Maxwell Silverhammer? You know the story that
I like both of them.
Every member of the Beatles, except for Paul McCartney, hated to do that song because McCartney was this perfectionist.
Yeah.
He said they did that song like for 3 days.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, each one of them just like, I don't want to do this song anymore.
This song sucks.
It's a terrible song,
Right.
and I don't like doing this song, and I don't want to do this song, but they did. He had to send out, he literally had to look at Alan Parsons, who was one of the guys that worked, at 18 years old, he was working, helping produce. They needed Alan Parsons or somebody, go out and find a real anvil. So they had to go. They had to go to a blacksmith shop.
Just go get an anvil.
And got an anvil so they could go bang bang Maxwell's silver hammer.
Came down upon her head.
What about Runaway Train by Soul Asylum?
Dude, there's so many. Okay, you want some? How about Pink Floyd, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun? Andrew Sisters, Chattanooga Choo Choo, Hughes Corporation, Don't Rock the Boat.
Oh, I forgot my very favorite?
Queen, Bicycle Race.
You know what I forgot my very favorite of all time? Starship Trooper by Yes. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
You've got to listen to it if you never have. I mean, again, I'm a Yes fanatic.
Starships by Nicki Minaj.
No. Starship Trooper is so good by it's like a 10-12 minute song, and it has 3 different, they like to do the
Of course, in the segments, it's a
the
suite.
segments, like the middle of the suite, I think it's called Worm, W-U-R-M, Worm.
Of course, probably with an umlaut on there as well.
Yeah, it's an umlaut.
Of course it is. I got one for 10 though. Lonely Island, I'm on a boat. The little T-Pain
Not one of my favorite Lonely Island songs.
No, agreed, but it does fit the bill for what we're talking about today, and there's a million other ones. By the way,
you missed one of the most popular songs of all time. That's probably been sung more than any of these.
Hit me.
Wheels on the Bus.
How
can you not have Wheels on the Bus on there?
I didn't know who to credit it to.
You're absolutely right.
He
Wheels
is
on
right.
the Bus is probably the best of all time.
Unbelievable.
You are correct.
I might start doing Spotify playlists of these on the weekly, by the way, when I put these together for all the honorable mentions. If people want to go find them, I'll start putting them together next week.
Why don't you do that? And it's always good to see you. We'll be back next Wednesday. And again, that podcast
is The Brian Oak Show. You can find it anywhere you get your podcast, but I recommend going through the free iHeartRadio app.
Thank you very much. That's Brian Oak. We'll take a break. We'll come back to legendary Mark Rosen joins us next. On the Fan. Oh.